Well, the president is in Nigeria. Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan has arrived in the United Kingdom, where he's expected to interact with investors. He's expected to tell international investors this whole week that South Africa can emerge from its economic woes and avoid a credit rating downgrade. Our correspondent Dan Whitehead joins us now live from London. Dan, this is a crucial time. We do face a very real prospect of a downgrade. There's a lot of lack of trust, a lot of questions around what happened in December. What is our finance minister doing right now?
Well, it's a big job for the finance minister. He flew in from South Africa this morning and straight away went into meetings in the City of London to meet with those investors to reassure them. I met with him this evening and he told me that investors can see the successes within the South African economy, which were outlined in his budget recently, but they also did express concerns about South Africa's stability. They want to know that the financial institutions within South Africa, whether it's the ministry or tax collection services, are operating as they should and that they are in good hands. They want to know exactly where growth is going to come from for South Africa, because the picture outside of South Africa isn't too rosy at the minute. Of course, the rand continuing to fall and, as you mentioned, real concerns. That is all anchored really by the ratings agencies and whether or not South Africans' bonds could be downgraded to junk status, something which the minister tells me he wouldn't want to happen.
As a country, I don't think we want to get into junk status, nor does the corporate sector want to be in junk status, nor do workers want their companies to be in junk status, nor do South African citizens who are going to face higher inflation, higher costs, higher prices for imported commodities or goods want to be in a country where we find ourselves in that position. And that's why we have the sense of urgency from all of us to work together to sell one South African story and to get people to believe in our story. But they're not going to believe it just because we say so. What they're also asking for is tangible proof.
Tangible proof, indeed, that we're not going to go deeper into debt. That's something that the rating agencies are concerned about. Tell us a bit more about what he's doing to reassure investors.
Well, he's really been telling me that it's a case of knitting together a solid story from all elements of the South African government, from businesses in South Africa, from Johannesburg on the stock exchange, that everything is shipshape and above board, and that South Africa continues overall to be a solid prospect for growth and investment, not only in South Africa but for the whole continent as a whole. This is the message which he had directly to investors he's meeting here in London and other countries in the coming days.
Look at the world today, as one of the business people said this morning. There's no absolutely stable environment anywhere in the world, either in the advanced economies or in the emerging markets. So at the end of the day, it's about risk and reward. And South Africa has the best business infrastructure on the African continent. It's got a very highly sophisticated financial and services sector, and there are huge opportunities for growth in the real economy.
All right, well, that's not the end of his trip. Dan, just take us through what happens from here.
Well, tonight he continues to hold meetings with investors. He'll do so tomorrow in London, but then tomorrow afternoon he continues his mission to convince investors that South Africa is an economy worth investing in. He'll be travelling to the US. He'll be visiting several cities there to do much the same, meeting those key investors to reassure them that everything is tip-top in South Africa's economy.
All right, thank you very much, Dan Whitehead from London. And I don't envy the finance minister right now. He will be speaking to those investors all week.